Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, test. Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, test, test, test. Testing 1, 2, test.
Here. I'll blend into the couch.
Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, test, test, test.
See, you don't even know where you'll meet them.
You're gonna... Hello, 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 welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am using this system in order to cleanse the space, to start cleansing the space. Make sure that my microphone is working properly. Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Sorry, I'm getting my audio levels all set up. I wasn't able to hear myself very well through the other headphones I had in. Test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, test, 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 test. Testing 1, 2, test, 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 test 1, 2, testing. Okay, good, good. I want to make sure I get the audio set up. Sorry, that was so loud. Sorry. And if you would just start envisioning what you would like to manifest over the course of the abundance super manifestation ritual. Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you. Yes. I love these tuning forks. They are vibrational tuning forks rather than frequency tuning forks. So they're supposed to be used for calibrating machinery, but I love their resonance. This one is 87.6 vibrations per second. And this one is 96.19 vibrations per second. So the next step sorry, let me move my laptop just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm more centered in the frame. Going to do some smoke cleansing with this black magic incense. And this is not necessarily incense for black magic, but rather to protect against it. It has very Saturnian qualities. Just kind of burn off any little wisps of negative energy that might be lingering around, like loose strings. If you've ever burned a loose string off of your clothing. And just use the flame to focus your intention and to, again, just kind of burn off any of those residual energies you've been carrying throughout your week. we are doing this on Friday the 13th. So, any of you who are superstitious about Friday the 13th, this would be a good way to allay those feelings of anxiety. Hello, Hez. And any little things that come out as I'm burning this incense, I will, of course, be pulling away. It is Friday night here in the valley, so hopefully people won't be too terribly loud. Oh, thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And I'm gonna pop some of those bubbles. Where the negativity bubbles up to the surface. Malik, you are very welcome. All right, so now I'm going to put the incense here in front of my keyboard and allow the smoke to rise up. Rise up, rise up, rise up. And to find out what we will be covering for the guided meditation tonight, I'm going to be using the Oliver Hubert Tarot I really love this deck. It's very drippy and psychedelic. Drippy and trippy. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I find a lot of catharsis in making these videos. So just think about all of the things that you... Oh, welcome. Sorry. Welcome. I hope that's not too distracting, me dropping these cards. We have the Page of Wands jumping out of the deck. So this is a card about creative beginnings. The Page of Wands is possibly a fire sign person. Could be an Aries. But is also about brand new beginnings and having the energy in which to start new things. It's very difficult to get started on projects if you don't have the energy to back it up. And I'm shuffling these off camera, but I want to make sure that I'm not getting right in that microphone with the card sounds. So the next three cards that we have this King of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. And the King of Pentacles is about financial success. When he's coming out in the reverse like this, that lets me know that, like many of us, what we are striving for tonight is some kind of security, long-term, generational wealth, generational accumulation of wealth. We also have the Three of Pentacles coming out, and this is coming out in the reverse. So it could be that you feel like your expertise is not appreciated at your place of employment, that you have a lot to offer, but they are not necessarily receptive to what you're putting out there. And then another card that we have here is the Lover's card in the reverse. This could be yearning for affection from another person. But it could also be desiring to have a choice, be able to make a choice, rather than having a choice forced upon you. So remember, we have this Page of Wands coming out. This is a really great way to start our guided meditation with this Page of Wands. It is the energy that we will need to move forward. And then we also have desire for generational wealth, for professional respect, and possibly for love in our life, or for the ability to be able to make a choice for ourselves rather than have something thrust upon us. Oh, thank you. And thank you for coming. I really appreciate your kind words. So, this will be wrapping it all up to bring us into the guided meditation. Oh, I'm glad. We have this Nine of Swords reversed. So it looks like you are able to reduce stress in your life. And obviously, if you're here watching an ASMR video, you are able to find tools to help you reduce stress in your life. We have this Page of Pentacles coming out. So it looks like there could be an opportunity. Page of Pentacles could be an offer of a new job, could be an offer of a partnership too, with somebody that could bring you a lot of money. Page of Pentacles could be your own business, but it could be the start of these things that you want with the King of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles also. So in the guided meditation, we will find ways to build on those things. We do have a Tower card coming out. In order to have bright, shiny, new things, sometimes it's important to get rid of the old, to clear out things that are no longer working for you. Unfortunately, this can be a very destructive process. And the last two cards that we have here are the Nine of Cups reversed, which is a wish fulfillment card. So there is something that you are wishing for. Something that you are wishing for. We also have the High Priestess here. I live very close to the airport, and I left a window open because I'm burning incense. So I hope that it's not too loud. The High Priestess reversed like this. It could be that secrets are coming out. Oh, thank you, Quintus, for coming. I appreciate it very much that you're here. The High Priestess reversed can also mean that the knowledge you require has not yet come into you. You do not yet possess the secrets you require to move forward the way that you wish. But that's why we're here. So, I did a survey, a poll on my community page, and the request. Oh, Hez, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for coming. The request was for opal. And please forgive the fact that I chew my cuticles mercilessly. I hope that won't stress you out too much. Using the camera on my computer, makes it very much easier to show off the beautiful color play within opals. Within opals. So the opal is a very secretive and mystical stone. They are formed in conjunction with water deep, deep within the earth, often forming from fossilized bone or shell. What used to be ancient oceans then become these beautiful seascapes dancing with light. Opal is one of my favorite stones, by far, by a long shot. But I don't just like the shiny opals. There are pink and green opals, which are opal stone, but do not have the flecks of iridescence. This piece of stone is also opal, but it doesn't have the same play of color as other opals. I love the beautiful white color. And for those of you who watch my crystal scrying videos, you'll know that I often use this stone for scrying. But the thing about opal is that the brighter it shines, the more it's worth. But in order to I have some opals in here too. In order to really see the beauty of opals, you have to delve deep within the earth. Oh, thank you. And earth is the element associated with wealth for good reason. There are many different kinds of wealth which can be obtained from the earth. It's a fine balance between getting the good shots of the shiny parts of the opal and having a lot of this light coming in. There we go. So let's see if I can get this one to work the way I want it to. Yes. So now look at the play of light here within this little slice of opal. Watch how the little colors drift and play. This opal was formed over millions and millions of years. Millions of years it took for this opal to form deep within the earth. And that can be the case too with your professional relationships and with your love relationships. If you want something deeply valuable, like an opal, you have to be able to put in the time and work on yourself, which all of you who are here, I know that's exactly what you're doing. This is a blue opal, and I like this opal a lot. It doesn't have as much of that play of color. There's like one little spot where there's flash, and can be a little bit difficult to find. Yeah, there we go. You see it? You see it right there on the tail? Yeah. So I'm going to take some of these opals and we're going to use these opals in the millions and millions of years that have gone into producing these little stones, these very precious tiny gems. I'm going to imbue you with the energy from these very beautiful little stones. And it's a very delicate process. Opals are very fragile. It is bad luck to break an opal, and I have done it before. It was in a ring, and I punched a wall. So you can see I've come quite a long way. This is a jelly opal, a fire opal. And it doesn't have too much of a play of light. You can see some reflections from my monitor on it, but it doesn't have necessarily the same kind of play of color that you see in other opals. But I still like these red opals very much. A lot of them come from Mexico. And I want to envision now with you the ancient sea floor. It's kind of a terrifying place in some ways, in that there are many very strange creatures who inhabit this realm. And they can be very unpredictable. Lots of crustaceans, mollusks, horseshoe crabs, of course, trilobites. The smooth, soft sand down on the ocean floor, and the cool currents running through the warm, balmy, perfectly clear water. In this period of time, you can choose to be whatever kind of prehistoric creature you choose. Oh, welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for coming. You might even choose to be a microscopic bacteria. And of course, none of these creatures are worried about their net worth. They don't worry about money. They don't even really worry about where their next meal is going to come from. They just know that it will. Does that say something like, hello from Brazil? You've come quite a long way. And the key to this is understanding that abundance flows, just like the currents of the ocean. It's not a choice. It's not an imperative. It's not even a prime directive. What is meant to come to you cannot be held back. And of course, we are passing through the Lion's Gate at this time, which is the perfect time to bring abundance to yourself. And the peak of the Lion's Gate would have been, of course, 8-8. You can see a little bit of the play of color on this opal. As we lie here, deep in the ocean, not too far offshore because we haven't dropped off the continental shelf, you can see up and see the sun shining down through the water, filtering through any other creatures or kelp overhead. And I want you to feel this feeling very strongly. Focus on focus. Focus. Focus on this very relaxed feeling that you are able to get on the ocean floor. Now, some of you watch my tarot readings and my Lenormand readings, and you know that fish are a symbol for money, and that the oceans are absolutely full of fish. Even at this time, this very primitive state of the ocean, there are so many fish. Some of them might end up walking on land someday. Which just goes to show anything is possible. I'm pretty obsessed with opals, I have to admit. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. Like these opals because they're kind of like a taupe color, but they have like a lot of play of color also. Wonder if I can get that to show up properly on the camera. It's a little bit difficult to show, but they are very lovely, lovely opals. So whatever kind of creature that you are envisioning yourself as floating around on the ocean floor, you see these schools of fish all around you. There are big fish, small fish, clustered up in groups to look much bigger. You might even see one of my favorite kinds of fish, which is the coelacanth. The coelacanth is a lobe-finned fish, and they still exist off the coast of Madagascar today. And the coolest thing about the coelacanth, other than every other thing about the coelacanth, which is equally cool, is their color. They are a beautiful, vivid, royal blue. Not too dissimilar from the color of this opal, which reminds me very much of the ocean floor. Now, as you watch these fish dance and play in the light, you might see them form symbols. If they don't form any symbols, that's okay. The messages might come to you through your intuitive states later. But these fish might form symbols related to wealth, prosperity, or your future. Different steps that it might be appropriate for you to take, whether that's to get a new job, to get a different job, to change your field of expertise. All of these things are possible. And you might hear them communicating with you in an extrasensory way as well. And that can look all kinds of different ways. So it doesn't have to necessarily sound like a human voice, although it could. It could just be messages coming to you. You could be kind of reading them, almost as though the school of fish is a sheet of paper and it's got words written on it. That's possible. You could hear a beloved ancestor speaking to you from beyond, or the person doesn't have to be passed over either. It could be somebody whom you speak to regularly, and they could be giving you advice in this way. A trusted advisor. They're going to tell you where you should be putting your energies at this time to tap into the result you desire. And you can ask them questions also. The schools of fish might be blending into scenes that show you what you should be doing also. And don't hesitate to ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions. And they will answer you. I like this opal because it's got a jelly side and an opaque side. And these can look very big on camera, but they're quite small, quite small. I like this one too because it's very opaque, very, it's more like an ivory color. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too distracting. And as the schools of fish in turn school you, return back into the body you have chosen for this guided meditation. Maybe you chose to be a stingray because they are very flat and can lie on that soft, cool cool sand on the ocean floor. Maybe you chose to be a megalodon because that's your favorite prehistoric ocean creature. Or a plesiosaur. Or a hallucinogenia. Whatever your choice, return to that prehistoric body. That is the body of one of your ancestors, too. Going that far back into the tree of life, into the clades, the branches of the clades. When you go far enough back, we have so many common ancestors. We share so much heritage. And that is why we all make such wonderful stewards of this planet. But of course, that's a choice that each individual has to make for themselves. And now that you've come back into that body, feel the prehistoric water congealing into these opals as it flows through the sediment in the soil. It causes these beautiful, shiny, fiery, iridescent patches to occur within the rock. And as you watch these opals form, you're coming back now into your modern day body, but you're doing so very slowly and very quickly at the same time, so that you're actually able to watch the formation of these beautiful stones. And as you watch the formation of these stones, it is writing that alchemy into your present day body and deep into your psyche. And that same process is going to occur for you now, very quickly, yet very slowly at the same time. And when it is complete, you will be that opal. And everything will have formed according to the intentions which you have set forth. And of course, I have many more opals in that box, but I just want to share my favorite ones. This one is another fire opal, and it has a really beautiful play of color inside of it. I don't know if it's showing up on camera. This is another opal. This one is kind of dark and murky, but it's still very beautiful, and it still has that same ancient power. And this one is not technically an opal. This one is an agate, but it's called dendritic opal. And I think these are also quite beautiful. Oh, thank you, Malik. Yes, I enjoy them very much. I sit here like a dragon on top of my pile of opals and stare at them. And now, to close everything out, I'm going to take this piece of opal and I'm going to kind of finish the surface. Yeah, it's a scraping, but it's a very therapeutic scraping. Wonderful. You're all doing such a great job. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have water or another refreshing beverage, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to hydrate your body. It can be very thirst-inducing to be in the ocean. And this is a sistrum. Sistrum is a very ancient instrument. They were used a lot in the Egyptian temples and is an instrument sacred to the goddess Hathor and the goddess Bast. Both of which are depicted on various sistrums. This particular sistrum came from Ethiopia. It's made of brass. In the Ethiopian churches, they actually have very large ones that they use. It's a very healing sound. It's a very sacred sound. I want to thank all of you for joining me for the Abundance Super Manifestation ritual this evening. I wish you all the best. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you so much for coming. Good night.